If you got a pack of short ribs and don't know what to do with it, watch this video. Trigger warning. Y'all already know the routine. I'm cleaning off my meat. I cleaned it with some cold water, some vinegar, and then I just gave it a rinse and patted them dry. Y'all, we are making red wine short braised ribs, okay? It's definitely a mouthful, but it's so delicious. So after you go ahead and pat your meat dry, you want to lightly season it with some salt. I use some kosher salt, some pepper, and then I use a little bit of like rib seasoning. It's like a mixture of garlic and black pepper, stuff like that, just to give it a little bit more flavor. But you just want to lightly season it on both sides, and that's it. Then you want to go ahead and cut you up some carrots, some celery, and some onions. The Holy Trinity, go ahead and cut it up. You can dice them up better than I did, and I should have diced them up better. But again, I like carrots, so I wanted them to be a little bit chunky. Then in a Dutch oven, you want to go ahead and brown both sides. The reason you want to use a Dutch oven, if you have one, is because you're going to go ahead and put it in the oven as well to finish off cooking. I didn't have a Dutch oven, but I had something similar. So that's what I used. And I went ahead and finished chopping up my vegetables while the meat was browning. So here you're just browning the meat on both sides. On all sides, make sure it's brown. In that same pan, once you remove it, the meat from the skillet, you want to go ahead and add your onions, your carrots, and your celery. That's it. I only have 4 ribs, y'all, so I only used a little bit. Depending on how many you use, it's going to determine how many vegetables and carrots you need. So I only used 2 because I only have 4 ribs. In that same dish, you want to add you some tomato paste once your onions start to cook down and your carrots and stuff like that. And then add a little bit of flour. You just want to add flour enough just to coat it. So for my 4 short ribs, I use like 1/3 cup of flour. That's it. And then you want to go ahead and get you some red wine. It does not matter what kind. You can get some red cooking wine from like the grocery store. And then I went ahead and poured it in there. And this mixture is what you'll get. So you'll get this color. It'll look a little sketchy. You're going to be like, girl, what is this? But it's going to come together in the end, okay? You want to go ahead and mix that up and make sure it comes to a boil, and then add your meat back in, okay? Once you add your meat back in, you want to let this boil for about 25 minutes. That's it, okay? It should come out looking like this. Cover it up. Add you some beef broth, just enough to cover it, okay? You're only adding beef broth to cover it up because you want to make sure it's fully covered. You're going to put these in the oven, so they have to cook, okay? So you want to go ahead and cover it up. I added some fresh rosemary and some fresh garlic and some bay leaves and thyme. That's all you want to do just to make sure that it's going to get that flavor that it needs, okay? You want to let that boil for another 10 minutes. Cover it up. Put it in the oven. Put it in the oven on 375 for about 2.5 to 3 hours. That's how long it takes, y'all. So, yeah. And if you got more meat than what I had, it's going to take like a full 3 hours because you want that meat tender. If y'all want the recipe on these mashed potatoes, let me know. This was after about 2.5 hours. Again, I didn't have to do like the full 3 hours because I only had 4 short ribs. So again, I let them cook in the oven for about 2.5 hours, and then they came out like this. You can strain your meat from your juice, from your vegetables, but I ain't have time for all of that, y'all. I just used the tunnel and then the spoon, and just separated it like that. But I paired it with some mashed potatoes, and that's how it came out. It was so delicious. Y'all, it was so tender. Like, if you've never tried the short braised rib recipe, like, do it. It's so many out there. You could try this one because, mine's the best. I ain't bragging. But, yeah, try this recipe. Let me know how you like it. Bye.